Hello again. So I meditated a little bit and I'm feeling a little bit more up for doing a codecast than I was a little bit earlier tonight. So this one should go a little bit more smoothly than my last video. Or at least a little bit faster, I guess. Okay, so this is where we left off. We use the outputjs library to import this get data from root node function. We call that on the source element. That's the another name for like the trigger element. But in this context, it's just going to be the source element from which we copy the the data attribute key and values. And then we're going to flatten that data. Flat data, get all keys with primitive values. How about like get object with primitive values from nested object? I don't know, it's close. Get, how about like get flat or like flatten data object. How about flatten output data object? So it's like it's very specific to our use case, which it is already. So we don't really have to worry about that. Okay. And the reason why it's specific is, so like I discussed last time, we'll say like data example. Could be like A, B, C. We'll put that in an array. We'll put another object here. Be like C1. And then like, I don't know, X2. And then return value. E.g. is going to be, it's not going to have A in it, it's not going to have B in it, C is going to be 1, and X is going to be 2. And we can test that out right now. I know we tested it out a little bit last time, but let's just, oh, okay. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll do flatten. We don't have this. So we're expecting C1 and X2. How about flatten output data? Is that, I don't know, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense to so tightly couple it. It's more like add all key value pairs to single object. put all key value pairs in flat object. Sure. That's what it's going to be named. Okay. I'm sorry I've renamed that so many times. I'm still not 100% satisfied, but it's a lot better than it was. Okay, so let's copy this again so we can try it out. Yep. C1, X2, awesome. And let's correct our example. So let's go out to object. Okay, cool. So that works how we expect it to. Let's move back to this function. So now, I guess let's have like an example here. So this is going to be, oh, we already have an example. So we have an example for this. Let's put that there. And let's, I guess, yeah, we'll have an example here too. So it could be like a list. Let's just do like a simple example. So these things could just be split up in two separate objects. Okay, so now we're going to loop through each of the key names from this flat object and convert them to dash case. Okay, so we're going to do object, keys. I feel so cool when I'm programming, honestly. It just feels like the best thing sometimes. Okay, so we got key name, and then loop through and convert them to dash case. So we have a function for that, and it's in string functions. And I actually just saw a really good example of how to do this well. But I want to see how it's done here. So I'm going to do, I think, wait, what is it going to be? It's going to be yeah, it's a little unfortunate because if I look in my outputjs file, or actually it's going to be not outputjs, but one of the helper functions, parse node. So here you can see I'm doing dash to camel case. So then I'm going to just convert it back from that, which is a little unfortunate. Another option would be to not do that. So the way I have it set up right now is on a div. So I'll just zoom in here a little bit. And sorry Google for using you. So say we have this div. We're gonna, how do I edit the attributes on this? Okay, there we go. So we can have a data output key, and then we'll like say it's like the I don't know, bundle title, or I don't know, let's think of something new. Book title. Sure. Okay. So we got book title, and then we've got like the replicant. I don't even know if that's a book. I'm sure it is. So the way this works is this is converted into, so this is also actually going to have a data O type equals object on it. And so if we run the outputjs parser on this, it's going to output an object that looks like this. But what we could do is just leave it alone, right? Leave the case alone and just have it output an object that looks like that. And I'm going to just look up like objects.js. Object. So the name value pair, pairs of names and values where the name is separated from the value by a colon. Okay. Rules about object keys, JavaScript. So I know that I can have dashes in it, but I just want to see, like, is there going to be something that sucks about having a dash in it, basically. Okay. Dashes in object. Yeah, let's see. This guy says, no, the parser will interpret it as a subtract operator. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you do that. Use anything as JSON keys. Some people, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, in general, I think it is a good idea to have the data stored like this, because it just feels natural. I think it's like if I'm planning on just sending this to the database as is, right? So I would rather have this than this, and it just feels more natural. But I think it would be faster if I didn't do this for every key name. And then I wouldn't have to convert it, back and forth, which would be ideal. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. So, I mean, do I mind storing it like this? Well, I guess the main thing would be, let's look at Pug Syntax, because this is the templating language I'm planning on using. And let's see like what it would look like. Oh man, why doesn't it have any good examples? Maybe on the home page. Pug syntax examples. Sure. I just want some code, please. Some code for looping. Please just loop through something that has nested objects. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one. This one looks perfect. This one's gonna do it, I just know. I just know it's gonna show me a really nice example. Okay, let's say like pug template looping objects. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, okay. So this syntax sucks if it has a dash in it. So that's why I think that's the main reason I don't want to use a dash. I know I was already on this page, but I just want to see real quick if there's anything. No, there's not. Okay, so let's looping through objects. I don't know, let's say dash. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it would work. Like here, could I use like partner and then have the braces? I don't know, it seems kinda not great. Okay, so I'm gonna just stick with the way that I'm doing it, converting it back and forth. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, we closed all the tabs. Okay, so yeah, we'll convert it to camel case. Let's look at these string functions again. Okay, so we have isString dash to camel case. What do? We replace dashes followed by, so we replace the lowercase a to z. Oh, okay. We replace. Okay, so we match. We okay. So we use replace with a regular expression. We get the match on this, which is lowercase a to z, but it has to be followed by a dash, and then we uppercase all of those. So you know, it's not gonna lowercase it first, right? I guess I could do like to lowercase. But yeah, I mean I think it's fine. I'll just like count on it being lowercase, and if this ever becomes a problem, I'll deal with it then. And I don't need this in here, so I can just do that, right? Bum, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Okay, I think that should work. Okay, then camel case to dash, we replace This is a really interesting one too. So we match on a lowercase set of letters followed by an uppercase. No, sorry. Oh, okay. We match just one lowercase letter, and then we match one uppercase letter, and then we replace that with a, a dash between it, and then we lowercase the whole thing. I don't know. I thought that feels like super elegant to me. um, I really love that. Um, I just hope it works consistently. Okay, so let's import. So what do we want? We want to convert them from dash case. No, sorry, to dash case from camel case. So we'll import this, right, from string functions. And I believe I have this already installed. I do not. Okay. So we will npm install string functions. Awesome. Okay, so now we've got that. Loop through each of the key names from this flat object and convert them to dash case. So we'll do dash case key name. Where is that coming from? Maybe the comment? Is it coming from another file? Is it here? Huh. Maybe it's just from the comment. I just am confused why that auto-completed. Okay. Dash case key name, and we nope. Yeah, dash case. Jeez. Camel case to dash. Okay. So we will say camel case key name, just to be clear. And let's dash to or let's say like camel case. Yeah, okay, it's 2 words stylized like that. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so let's we got that. Create a selector string based on the key name. Okay, so selector string, and let's bring this up here. And we can create a little room in here. Okay, so the selector string is gonna be I guess we could use this. So let's do data o key dash, and then like that, and then dash case key name. Okay. Search source element and its children for elements that match this attribute selector. We'll just say this selector string, because that's what we called it before. Okay, so I just want to check something. So if I have this, and honestly, this is something I should totally know, but if I have this element and I do a query selector on it, so it won't return the current element. But if I do, if I go up and then I do that, it is going to return that. So query selector all, obviously is just going to search the children. So so what do? Search source element and its children for elements that match this selector string. Okay, so I think what I can do is go into our DOM utils and see if there's anything there that would help. For each all children, that might help. Contains element. I don't think that would help. Get parents for each attribute and the element position, and we'll say like visibility, just so I don't confuse that with element position 1. So I think for each all children could help, but it's not, no, that's not really what I'm looking for. Okay, so the thing I'm looking for is something that's going to do a matches on the current element, as well as a query selector all, and give me an array of everything mixed together. So what I could do, and this is actually kind of elegant, so let's go into, you might not need jQuery because this is my go-to reference for vanilla JavaScript, and search for parent. So it looks like parent node. I think just parent is a thing too. Let's just check that. So if I do parent element is a thing. And then parent node is a thing too. Okay. Parent node. I think I want parent node, but let's just see. When a node's parent node is not an element, if so, parent. Sure, we'll do parent node. Okay, so search source element and its children. So all we have to do is do, source, oh geez. Okay, source element, parent node, and then we can do query selector, query selector all. I'm just trying to think of how to get this to be an array. Although I think maybe I don't need to, but only if I included query.js here. So, let's see. I really should rename this, I don't know, bling extended or something. So so we do node list, and then we set all of the array functions on the node list too. Let's see. Do I include query.js? I do. So let's include it here. We can just do import $$$ from query.js, and I think that's what I want to do. Let's just make sure. Oh, I don't use it here. I'm not sure. I guess I use it in copy layout. So let's go here. I just want to, it's stupid, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that's exactly how it is. Okay, so now we're going to have all of the functions we want on this. Okay, so now we have search source element and its children for elements that match the selector string. Okay. So now we have, what should we call this? Matching elements? Or, sure, matching elements. And then when a selector matches an element, get the value for this key name from the flat data object and overwrite the current value of this attribute in the source element with this value. Okay, so I think for 6 we're going to rewrite this a little bit. On all matching elements, overwrite the attribute value with the source elements attribute value. Okay. Because we can do this all in one step, kind of. So we're just going to do a for each, and we've got a matching element, and we're going to set attribute, okay, and the attribute, oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so let's have another step here. Dun, 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 dun. So let's say like attribute name, attribute string, attribute name, sure, attribute, I don't like name, HTML attributes, or let's search the data attributes. No, I don't want using, I want this one. This one. So what is like the first part? So it's the name. Did I go to the using one? No, I went to that one. Okay, let's just say attributes. I guess it's probably just going to be the attribute name, right? Yeah, that's just attribute name. Okay, so attribute name is going to be equal to this, and I'm not going to use the template literal because it doesn't make sense here. So we're just going to do that, and then the selector string. Do we even have to do it before? I mean, we can just do like this, right? It's that's fine, right? Okay, get the attribute name based on the key name. That match a selector that looks for this attribute. and its children for elements that match, I don't know, that match this attribute. I don't know, I just don't want it to make it that long. Okay, so then on all matching elements, overwrite the attribute value with the source element. Okay, so now we're setting the attribute. The first value is going to be the attribute name, and the second one is going to be the value. So it's going to be flat data, camel case, key name. And that should do it. So if we have, you know, something like this, it's going to get turned into something like this. We're going to loop through this and this. We're going to put data-o -key before this and before this. Then we're going to use those as selectors to find all the matching elements. And then on those matching elements, say here, for convert the key name to dash case. Yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, so then we're going to, you know, convert it to the attribute names, find all the matching elements inside of the, no, not inside of the source element, you crazy person. We want inside of the target element. Okay, and then, oh, there's a problem here. Yeah, I was trying to be tricky here and use parent node, but, so what if its sibling also has a bunch of data in it? This is going to pick that up, which is super annoying. Yeah, that's unintended. So we definitely don't want that to happen. I wish we could use this. Okay, so we can like quickly assemble this, right? So we can let's get the attribute selector, or like we'll just call it selector string, like we did before, and we'll just plop that in there because we're going to use it more than once now. So we got it there, and we're going to say that's funny. So I don't want to quote, I don't want to like write this as short as possible, but I also want to try to like make it pretty simple. I will create a different function for this if it makes sense, but I think if I can get it short and simple enough, I won't need to add it to the DOM utils library. So no pressure. So the problem that I'm thinking through is that I'm pretty sure. Okay, let me go to Bling, or sorry, what do I call it? Query.js. So let's go here, and let's copy this line. So what I'm worried about is using concat. So if I do like document query selector all, and I find, that's a lot. Okay. I don't want so many. H1s? No, too few. Perfect. Okay, so then if I do like a concat on this, what happens? Not what I expect. Definitely not what I would want. Okay, so it's going to be hard to do this. So, okay, so I think we'll do let matching elements equal an empty array. And then array from, so okay, so we'll do matching elements, and then we'll do like if target element matches that, then so I wonder, so if I do this, if I do like one, or like, yeah, one question mark, or like, sorry, false question mark 1 else 2, we're gonna have 2, and if I have true here, that's neat. So I could say, so this is kind of like what I don't want to do. Yeah, well, there's no way to actually put nothing in here if it doesn't match, so that's a moot point. Okay, so we'll just do this. We'll do it the long way. So we do that, and then we could just do an array from here. An array from this. And then if the target element, and I guess, you know, just for niceties, just to like be cool about it, let's do the other thing. That's not push, that's the opposite of push. Shift. I always forget that one. So if I do like 2, and then I see again. Nope. It's unshift. That's like the stupidest name, isn't it? Okay, so if I have a equals 1, 2, 3, and I want to put a 0 in between, I mean, before all that, I gotta do that. And then I do that. This is a very crazy thing. Unshift. Unshift. It's not is it unshifting it? Unshift. No. Push, shift. What does shift do then? Oh, shift is gonna, and then unshift. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Not really. Okay, so we're going to unshift this into the start of the matching elements array, and then we're going to do a for each, and then we're going to do that. Okay, so that looks like it should work. So let's say, let's add this to our GitHub and say, hey dudes, we finished this. Finished, possibly, you know, it's not definite yet. Okay, so what else do we got here? So input component watcher. So we're saying, so we're claiming that we've already finished this one. So we're watching for the switch action on. Whenever it's on, this callback's going to call, and it's going to say, hey, does the switch that was turned on, you know, does that element have an attribute data input sync? And if it does, then transfer the data from the action element, or from the trigger element, to and its children, to this sync element and its children. And we're going to use sync output data attribute values. And that's the same thing here. So this is the bulk of the work happening here, and it's not that complicated, so that's good. And then we got the save button watcher. So wait, yeah, so the when is safe, because that's just going to be triggered, you know, whenever. But we want to make sure that this is safe. And by safe, I mean we just want to make sure that we're using event delegation to make sure this is called even if the save button is added later. So let's go into our query.js code, and I know we have this on thing. We pass in the event name, the event context, so we can do it on like body. So let's just copy that example code, and we'll just say, okay, body, click action button, and instead of this, we're just going to have data input save, and then the callback is going to get the target, the current target, and prevent default. Okay, so watch for when a special save button is clicked, then find the nearest data store, the nearest ancestor element that's a data store, data sync that has the attribute data input sync. Okay, so that's easy. So we have event current target. So current target is going to be the element that actually matches. So we're going to do event current target. And I mean, we could use target too. It actually doesn't matter. But if we use target, we might have to like climb a couple levels higher. So I think it's better to just do this, and then we'll use closest, and then we'll use data I sync, and we have the sync element. Okay, and then the third thing is transfer all data from the data sync element and all of its children back to the source element and its children. Transfer data from the data sync element and its children back to the source element. Okay. So now you might be thinking, well, hey, we don't have the source element. How are we going to get this? Well, it's very simple. We have it right on the sync element. So, but we don't need switches here. But we do need a thing. So we're gonna sync this. So we're gonna, let's say, copy. Is that what we said here? No. We said transfer. Let's say copy because that's more exact. We're not actually moving it, we're copying it. Okay, so from the sync element, so we got the sync element, and the source element is going to be attached directly to the sync element, which is a little silly. Okay, so when does that get set? Ay. Can you tell I'm tired? I'm gonna call it a day in a second. Input component watcher. Okay, so when it's switched on, we see if it has this attribute. Okay, and number 4 is going to be attach the action element to the switch on element as the source element. So then we're going to have this. Nope. That was the wrong direction. So this source element equals that. Okay. Okay, cool. That works. There's one more part to all of this, which is the input choice watcher. Let's see. Watch for click events on elements with attribute data key and data value. Set the value of that key and the value of the corresponding data value attribute onto the parent element that has data choice attribute equal to the key name on it. So I know what that all means, but oh my goodness, could I have worded that weirder? I think I'm going to do this tomorrow. I guess I could just give it a crack right now. Let's give it a crack right now. Okay, so body on click, and we're going to have data I key and data I value. So it's got to match both of those. Function event. Okay. So how do I get the okay. So first of all, let's say look for the closest data I choice, closest element with a attribute. That matches the value of the key. Okay. Yeah, the real 2 is actually going to be get the value of the attribute on the current target, I guess. So we got event, current target. We'll say let key name equals get attribute data I key, and then we're going to look for the closest element with data I choice on it. So we'll say event current target, or we'll say like choice element, I guess. Event current target closest data I choice, and it's got to equal this, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I know I changed this. If I go here, I didn't change it there. What? I didn't change it there either. Well, I changed it in the example. I know that, right? At least there. Yeah. Okay. So I want to change it here too. Okay. And that makes it so, yeah, so it knows which one it's corresponding to. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we got the choice element, and then set set the value of that key and the value of the corresponding data I value attribute onto a parent element that has the data I choice. Okay, so set. So what we really want to do, let's close this and this and this. So what we really want to do is just do this. We could do this too, just to make sure that it's there. Okay, so we'll take these as examples. Okay, so set the and attributes on the element with the, okay. And I know that this could probably be clearer, but I'm like gone right now. So it's gonna have to suffice for now. Okay, so we have the choice element. We're gonna set the attribute that looks like this equal to object and data so yeah, so it's going to be we're going to need to convert it to dash case. So where where is that stuff? Okay, so new type. Okay, so we're gonna do let attribute name equal this plus camel case to dash, and we're going to do that to the key name. And then we're going to set this attribute name equal to attribute value is going to be data value. Okay. Attribute to object. Yeah, so I'm a little worried about this attaching so many um, event delegation handlers to the page. I'm afraid it's going to slow it down. I'm afraid that a lot of what I'm doing is eventually going to slow the page down. But I'm being pretty safe. Like, I'm being pretty... I think it's probably going to be okay. But when I think about like a single click triggering, 20 event handlers and them all crawling up the DOM searching for elements, it does make me pretty nervous. So I'm not sure what to do. I think it would be, like, if that does end up being a problem, I can make all of these use one event delegator, right? So it could crawl up the DOM once looking for, this series of matches, right? And that might be a little bit more efficient than crawling up the DOM, 20 different times. Yeah. So it so imagine like this isn't like calling a native add event listener yet. It's just like adding this selector to an array, and then whenever someone clicks on the page, it just calls this one event listener on the body, and as it crawls up the page through like the 10 or 20 elements that it takes to get to the top of the page, to the top of the tree, it's just looping through this array that has all the selectors I've added, and seeing if any of those match, and if they do match, calling their corresponding callback function. That's actually a good idea for something to build. I'm sure someone actually already has built that, so I could probably just find that out in the wild. Okay, so anyways, get the value of the input key attribute on the current element. Yep, key name. Look for the closest choice element whose value matches the value of the input key. Set the data O type attribute to object on the choice element. Set the data O key attribute on the choice element, representing the selected choice. Attribute name is going to be camel case dash da da da. Attribute value is going to be get attribute data I value, choice element, set attribute name, attribute value. Okay. Awesome. Let's added documentation, finished, save button, watcher, finished, choice watcher. Okay, cool. So next time, hopefully we'll see if it all works, if it, can fit together. I'm not super confident it's going to work like right out of the gate, but I am pretty excited to get it working and using this in production. Okay, I'll see you next time. Sayonara.